So how do you actually work out? It depends on your goals, right? For this purpose, I wanted to work out to build that aesthetic body, but there's ways to work out if you want to build the aesthetic body or if you just want to build strength, and I know how to do both, so I'm going to talk a little bit on both. Mostly I'm going to put emphasis on the aesthetic body, but I'll throw in some tips on how to build strength as well on the way, because you don't want to be looking like some crazy beach bod guy and then ask you what you bench and you're like, the bar, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you don't want to be doing that. So in terms of working out, intensity, and intensity, okay? What I want you to do, right? So technically, you should be training, each set should be about, so a set is like the group of repetitions, right? So that one set of bench, and then you're done, and then you rest, and you do another set of bench, and then each one is a repetition. So for each set, you should be training with 1 to 2 reps in reserve. So it's 1 to 2. So if you're pumping that weight, right? You hit it. You have one. If someone put a gun to your head saying lift this weight right now, you could do 1 or 2 more before you literally couldn't, even with a gun to your head, right? And my phone is going to fall again. Okay, so gun to your head, you could do 1 to 2 more, and then you'd fail. Technically, that's the optimal amount for hypertrophy. So hypertrophy is just muscle growth. That's just a fancy word for muscle growth. So like getting bigger. So technically, that's what you wanted to do. But you are a beginner. You most likely don't know what it is to train to failure. So what I would recommend for you for the first 2 to 3 months, push yourself. Try to go as far. You're gonna have to learn the sensation of what it's like to fail, to not be able to do another repetition. So that's something that, it's like a skill that you level up like in a game. So you want to be pushing yourself. So like, say you're on the bench. We'll use the bench for this example. For the first 2 to 3 months of working out, I want you to be on that and doing your sets, each set, until you can't do another repetition. Get a spotter for bench and stuff like that, by the way. You do not want to fail by yourself. That's not good. It's not good. I don't want a dead faller, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want you alive, healthy, and looking good. Feel me? Like, so get a spotter. Don't be lazy, just get a spotter. Anyway, tangent. Do it until you can't do another repetition. And then rest. Rest for 3 until you're fully recovered, but generally 2 to 4 minutes is a good like time frame. For the more heavy compound lifts, benches, squats, deadlifts, I would say air more on like the 3 to 4 minutes. And then for smaller stuff like calves, abs, forearms, 2 minutes, 2 minutes and a half, something like that should be enough. But whatever, until you feel mentally and physically recovered for the next set. In terms of how many sets, so generally per muscle group for hypertrophy, you should be doing 12 to 15 sets per week, or 12 to 18 sets per week. So say around 15 sets per week per muscle group. So you want to do a total of 15 sets for your chest per week. So each workout. So say you train each muscle group 1 or 2 times a week. So say you're training chest on Monday, you'd hit 6. So you'd hit bench for 3 sets, and then the chest flies for 3 sets, and then dumbbells for 1 or 2 sets. 2 sets. So that's 8 sets already. You only did 3 exercises. And then you do that again on Thursday when your chest is recovered. That's how you want to structure your workouts. So, and then the reps, how many rep ranges? So here's what you want to do. You take a weight that you could do comfortably, not comfortably really actually. From the rep range that you want to be aiming for is 8 to 12 repetitions. So that's the range that you want to fail in. So take a weight that you think you could be able to do for 8 to 12 reps. Err on the higher side for now. So let's say 12 reps. So a rep that a weight that, say you take the 40s, you pump them out for 11 reps, and on the 12th rep you can't do another rep. So you fail at 12 reps. That's the weight you want to be using. Then once you can eventually hit 12 reps on that weight, so like next week you come in, you're a little bit stronger, you've been hitting your protein, 1 gram per pound of body weight, like I told you. you come in, you grab the 40s, you do it for 12, and then on the 13th one you fail. Perfect. So now you failed on 13, so you're out of that rep range. So now that's when you would progressively overload. You would add a little bit of weight. So the next time you're in that gym, you take the 45s or the 42s and a halves, the 45s, something like that, something a little bit more. Then you pump them out. Most likely you'll not be able to do as many reps as you were on the previous weight on the 40s, because now they're heavier, right? So you have the 45s, you pump them out for 8, and on the 9th one you fail at 9. Perfect. Now you continue, you progressively, or you eat your protein, you recover, you sleep when well, and you come in again, you hit 10, and then in the next week you hit 11, and then you hit 12, and then when you fail at 13, you up the weight again. And that's the concept of progressive overload. That's what leads to progress. Small increments of strength over a long period of time. That's what's going to lead you to getting bigger. And in the rep ranges of 8 to 12, that's what you likely want to do. So that's how you want to structure your workout. In terms of exercises, those are pretty much personal, but I searched up whatever exercise I thought was cool and I felt it the most. I would search up on YouTube real quick, tutorial how to do a whatever the machine is, and then it would show you perfect form, and then you want to replicate that as perfectly as possible. So you want to avoid ego lifting as much as you can. Ego lifting is when you're in there like, man, I'm feeling strong, so you say you failed at 12 on the 45s. Man, I'm feeling strong, let me get the 60s. Let me get the 60s. You pump them out with terrible form. You're like bent like this, and you're like about to injure your shoulder, and you hit like 2-3 reps, and then you fail. That's ego lifting. You don't want to do that. You would rather kill your ego, drop the ego, grab the 45s, and focus on the form, the technique, making sure you feel it right here in your chest. You push it up, feel your chest contracting and expanding, and I'm focusing on the form that you learn from the videos, which I will most likely also show you the proper form for each of these exercises in a bonus module. So you could look at those and look at which exercises you think would work for you, and then just try to copy my form and see how it works for you, because that's how you build the muscle growth. You don't want to ego lift. I promise you, it's not worth it to tell the girls, oh man, I'm benching this much, and then you go and you actually do it, and your form is completely trash. Like, it's not impressing nobody, bro. So just make sure you do it right. Don't ego lift. In terms of PRing, another thing, your PRing will really affect your recovery. So you don't want to PR every week. I understand that's tempting to be like, man, I've been getting strong. Let me see how much I can really lift now, like compared to where I started. I would hold off on it for I would PR maybe max once a month. Because what I did is I'll PR like every 2 weeks, and then I'll be making progress, but like if I didn't PR, I'll be making tons more progress, because it taxes your nervous system really highly. So just hold off on the PRs. PR sometimes just to see where you're at, and then continue with your regular training schedule. I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna like say like it's crazy to PR every couple weeks. Like, I understand you want to know where you're at, but I'll just say just try to control yourself and just keep it infrequent as you can, because it does mess with your recovery a little bit. And yeah.